Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Beyond the Frame Festival. Thank you very much for watching the award ceremony. Now I am the moderator for today's event. I'm Sascha. I am a radio DJ, entertainer, and also official ambassador for location-based VR association. And also regarding the cinemas, I'm also navigator for Friday Roadshow program. And I am Todoki, an official navigator of Beyond the Frame Festival. I'm not a DJ actually, but how should I say? I am a writer on VR and also do all the things, and I'm a supporter of VR. So nice to see you. Well, I've never imagined. Well, I've been in this business for more than 20 years, but I've never imagined that I will be doing an MC with Vtuber. It's a singularity. And how should I call you today? Well, I'm called Uka-sama by my fans, so then I will call you Uka-sama. Oh, no, that's too much. And because I've just become a fan of yours. Well, thank you. So I'll call you Sascha-sama. No, that's embarrassing. So nice to see you. Well, we see that how far VR has come. Yes, I'll do my best so that I can bring this excitement to all of you. Well, let's have fun. Now, I'd like to first start explaining the interpretation function. This live streaming, we have interpretation service. And there is an interpretation button at the bottom of the screen. And please choose either Japanese or English.
Will be streamed in English and in Japanese. So the interpretation button will be available or is available right on the right side below your screen. So if you want to change it to English, please press the interpretation button and change it to English. さあ、2月12日よりスタートしました。
Now, this event started on February the 12th. And this is Japan's first international cinema festival dedicated to cinematic VR experiences. And we have been delivering the VR works at the online venue. And almost every night we have had talk events. And today is the final day. And we're going to have an award ceremony, right, Uka-sama? Yes. I have been supporting as an official navigator and have been able to encounter so many wonderful works. So I'm really looking forward to see the award winners. And we have a comment from such high reputation international film festival.
Hello, everyone. I'm Liz Rosenthal. I'm the curator of Venice VR, Venice International Film Festival's immersive content section. So at Venice, we launched Venice VR in 2016, and one of our big missions is to make sure that immersive content, or XR, is recognised as a new art and entertainment form. So we're incredibly excited to see new festivals launching all around the world, and particularly excited that Beyond the Frame launched in Japan. So big congratulations to you, because you've made a really impressive first edition, considering the difficult circumstances that we're all in. So big congratulations to all of the projects that were selected and to the organisers. I've really enjoyed taking part. I was on a session with Lauren Hammonds and Grace Lee on festivals the other day, and I'm really excited about hearing who your prize winners will be. We also love seeing new Japanese projects, so please do get in contact with us. We've shown some really fabulous projects from the Cinema Leap team and other Japanese makers in our previous editions. So thank you so much for inviting me to take part, and good luck to everyone in the future, and I hope we get to meet in real life in Tokyo next year and in Venice.
はい、というわけで、
Thank you. So we have a comment from Venice International Film Festival, one of the three major film festivals. Whoa, that's amazing, isn't it? So you can see how high the expectation is on this film festival. We have only started. Wow. So I look forward so much to seeing who are the winners of the prizes. So the Venice is really paying attention to us. Now, what are the works that have been nominated? So let's show you the videos of the 18 works. So these were the 18 competitions. I watched all of them, and all of them were just wonderful, powerful, amazing. It's too difficult to have to choose winners from here. Yeah, I know how you feel. If I were a jury, I would give the award to all of these competitions. But I'm sure it was really difficult to choose 3 winners from here. But the juries had a hard time, but came up with the results. So let me show you the juries. First of all, Shion Sono-san, Ellie Omiya, writer, and Mr. Atsushi Fukuda, president of Speedy Inc. So gorgeous members. And also, I have also been rooting as an official navigator. Other than juries, we have Kom Ai-san as ambassador. So we have such gorgeous members here, a wonderful lineup. And so we are going to announce the winners of 3 prizes, which are Beyond the Frame Festival. Beyond the Frame Festival, there will be VR Story Award, VR Experience Award, and Grand Prix. So let's announce one by one. First of all, the first award is VR Story Award. It goes to work that has the best story while making the most of the VR.
As a contribution to the widespread discussions of what lies ahead, the CBC presents John M. Ewing.
What I am setting out to discuss tonight is the problem of the Japanese in Canada. Japanese traditions are so wholly unlike our own, and in many respects so antagonistic to our own, that many generations must pass before they are extinguished. Even a single family, when it cannot be completely absorbed into the surrounding Canadian community, will cling to its Japanese language and traditions. The Japanese communities must be so broken up as to be completely eliminated.
So as you can see, the VR Story Award goes to The Book of Distance. Congratulations! This was a wonderful work. And today we are joined with the director Randall Okita and the producer David Oppenheim of National Film Board of Canada.
So we'd like to have one word from each of you, Randall Okita-san and David Oppenheim.
Oh wow, this is such a wonderful honor. This is so special. I'm so excited to be part of such a beautiful lineup of work by so many great artists. And for us, you know, this is the story of my grandfather traveling from Japan to Canada and wrestling with, you know, a very complicated cultural landscape at that time. And to be able to share this work internationally with a Japanese audience in a year like this is just such a miracle, and I feel so lucky and honored to be a part of the team. Thank you so much, and you know, thank you to our team and to David, our great producer. David, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having us at the festival. It's an honor for the National Film Board to bring the Book of Distance to Japan and to be part of such an incredible lineup. So just a quick thank you to the festival and the organizers, as well to our amazing team of designers and developers and production staff, our producer Anita Lee, and the rest of the team at the National Film Board in Toronto. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. ありがとうございます。
Thank you. And congratulations to both of you. It was really a great work. I actually didn't really know that such a thing happened, and it was a studying experience for me as well. And also, as an entertainment, it made me feel as if I was traveling along with the people in the film, and it was really wonderful. So it was really awesome. Yes, it felt as if we were living that time. And it was fun, kind of taking pictures. That was really great. So congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
The Book of Distance, there will be a prize money of 100,000 yen for this piece. Congratulations. Okay, then let us move on to the next award, which is the VR Experience Award, which provides the best experience utilizing the characteristics of VR. So as you've just seen, the VR Experience Award goes to MOBE. Congratulations. Yes, indeed. And today we have with us director Kazuki Yuhara. Yuhara-san, can we have one word from you? Well, this is the first VR film festival in Japan, the very first, and being able to receive this award is really an honor for me. I hope that we can create great contents here in Japan. Thank you. Congratulations. Well, the quality of the animation was really wonderful, and the world that is created through this, it really brings out Yuhara-san's world. Well, unless it's VR, I believe you can't express such a world, and it was really wonderful to see, because there were animations at the top, at the bottom, and all around you, and it was a really immersive experience. So congratulations. And for MOBE, prize money of 100,000 yen will be presented. Now, finally, this is going to be the last announcement of the awards. And among the 18 nominees, overall, the best quality piece will be given the Grand Prix. Well, actually, 2 were chosen for the Grand Prix. A big surprise, and it's home and replacements. So these 2 were the Grand Prix winners. Congratulations. Well, the 2 are totally different, and it's really great to have such different works being given the Grand Prix. And today we have with us Director Shuchi En for Home. Can we have one word from you, please?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the Beyond the Frame Festival. It's my honor can know everyone and also can see lots of great work and artists. It's my first VR, and so I got lots of artists from Taiwan, or like Fune Company and also Kaohsiung Film Festival. They helped me a lot. Hong have been lucky to travel through some festival, and it's my first award. It's my first award. I really appreciate, and it's a really personal story from my family. It can touch lots of audience, lots of people. I really feel appreciate, and also honestly, this home is made like 80 years old by Japanese. My grandpa, grandma, they all work from the Japan's a factory to make the medicine. And the reason why I shooting home, the first reason is I hope can contain this house. Then it's really amazing. This world can show Japanese and also got a Japanese Film Festival's award, and I really feel appreciate it. It's quite cool. It's a quite unique way to connect each other, connect Taiwan and Japan. Yeah, that's it. And hope I will keep creating good VR work, and hope in the future we can see each other face to face, can shake the hand, talk face to face, and give me a hug. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. すごい。初めて。
Wow! Well, that was his first VR work ever. Wow, amazing. And he has got his first award. Well, congratulations. And this home was built by Japanese. Wow, didn't know that. Well, this work has such a deep, immersive feeling, and I felt as if I were the member of the family. Yeah, it was such a private space, and I felt like I've also become a grandmother, and it made me feel a lot of things. And when everybody left, I thought that, whoa, I know how it feels like, and don't pull me back. And this was something that I wanted to keep on watching. And when you become a grandma, you can't hear the sound in the distance. So all the creation has a lot of reality and had a lot of expressions. Well, thank you very much and congratulations once again.
Thank you. Really appreciate.
そしてグランプリのもう一つ
And another winner of the Grand Prix is Replacements. And we are joined by Mr. Jonathan Haggard. Nice to see you. Could I have a word from you? Beyond the Frame Festival. Well, thank you very much for this festival. Of all the wonderful competition, I'm so grateful that I have won an award. This Replacements is about a story in a village in Jakarta in Indonesia, and it's a story that takes place in Indonesia, but I think it has some Japanese taste as well. And Japan, it's an island country. There are so many small alleys and also some verandas or terraces where a grandmother plays with grandchildren. And in Indonesia, the alleys are gone, but I believe that there's some left in Japan. Probably what's gone in Japan is gone in Indonesia too. But probably 20 years from now on or 30 years from now, we don't know if the veranda where the grandma sat will still be there. But I'm very happy that all the Japanese audience had a chance to watch this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much and congratulations. And this is the combination of the reality and animation, and that combination is just so wonderful. And I love the world that this has created. It's this convenience store and the characters that are fiction, and that also gave us an immersive feeling. Because this is animation, I believe that this work has drawn us into this world. In VR, you can feel the reality even if it's in animation. And I found out, well, once again, thank you very much and congratulations to you. So, Home and Replacements, they both get 150,000 yen for additional prize. Congratulations. So, we'd like to have comments from the jurors or juries. First of all, Shion Sono, director, Ellie Omiya, writer, and President Atsushi Fukuda of Speedy Inc. So please turn on the video. Welcome. So once Shion Sono is here, then we would like to kick off with a comment from Shion Sono-san. So there he is. So let's start with Sono-san. Could you give us your comment? Good evening. I am Shion Sono. All the works, all the competitions were so wonderful. First of all, they all show the potentiality of the VR. And overall, I thought that all of the works had a high quality. And it was so difficult to choose 3 or 4 out of these. And it was so regrettable at the same time that I had to choose the winners out of these. But anyway, I'm very happy that I was able to take part in this event. And the one that I liked the most was The Replacements. And this film work, having been able to encounter this is something that I'm really overwhelmed. How long can I just go on speaking? Well, as much as you want to, because this is an overall comment, final comment. Excuse me, let me bring something. This is something that the remote event enables to do. What did you bring? I'm right now in Hachijojima Island in Tokyo, a remote island in Tokyo. And usually, there are many people who are tech savvy, so they can change my background as well. But I am in a hotel, and I have to do everything by myself. So I'm sorry that I can't switch the background. Now, there were so many works. The Book of Distance by Randall Okita-san. This one, you could touch it and also feel and made you think. And this was just outstanding in that sense. There are many memorable things, and we can touch them, and we can feel as if the father is our own, and we can feel the story. I've never thought that VR was so interesting. The touching itself in the VR wasn't really interesting for me up until now, but this time, this work made me really feel that it's really interesting to be able to touch, and I thought what it means to touch. And the next work, Mob by Yuhara-san, this is not something that you can touch, but yes, I was really moved by this. Your mother or your wife or your child, we want to see with them many times. It almost made me cry. And Home, Shu Ji-en. This is the live action. Actually, I thought that only the animations would be interesting in VR works, but I found out that you can do so many amazing things with the live action, and I learned a lot. Doing the VR in live action means this. That's what I've learned, and really made me think what I should be doing next. Home is something that I was really overwhelmed. And at the end, everyone leaves. And at the back, there is a woman who was touching her smartphone, and it felt your sadness, and also being forced to watch the TV that is so boring. And this is something that you can't really actually feel in ordinary film. Yourself having to watch the boring TV. This is something that you could feel with the VR. And replacements, I've already said. Of all the works, this is simple animation. And there are alleys around me, and they all change like this. And I thought that probably he could do another VR work featuring the alleys in my hometown. That's what I felt. Thank you very much, Sono-san. Now let's move on to Ellie Omiya-san. Yes. I learned a lot from being a juror. I write books and also take images and also work in the art arena. And I got a lot of inspirations.
From each of these pieces, they were really like jewels for me. And by having many people watch these films, as one movie fan, I felt that many people should really see this. I have been watching a lot of movies, and there are things that remain with me. And there are works that would really affect the way I live. But the 4 that were selected for the prizes was something like that for me. I felt that I would like to see them again when I grow older, and I want to recommend it to my friends. They were all something that, yes, of course, movies will move me, but because they were VR films, I think it really touched deeper into my heart. It was a very wonderful experience. And it's not just the experience that surprised me, but I was really moved. And yes, at times I was almost at the verge of tears. I tend to think about what is it that happened to me? It's not a 2-hour film. There were some that were 30 minutes long, but only some were shorter, but they were very impactful. And yes, it gave me great experience, and it was really interesting. And there are probably many other films that were really great, and it was really hard to just select 3. And I'm really grateful that Sono-san has proposed that we should select 4. And I just look forward to future works by these directors and producers. Thank you very much, Omiya-san. Then Fukuda-san, please. So all the 18 films, they were really dynamic and wonderful. And my mind or my brain is like VR right now. And this is the first, so there is no criteria for selecting the prizes. And it's not as if we have discussed this, but we somehow all came to an agreement. Something Hollywood-like or something like attractions. I thought that VR was good at these areas. And yes, there were some, but actually the ones that we've selected were something that has this quiet, drama-like feel to them. If you think that this is an extension of a short film, that's wrong. It's about extending your experience. So just even if you see it once, it gives you this very strange feeling as if you don't want to go away from that place. Sometimes you see a film and you may be surprised, but also it's a hands-on kind of experience. And it's like you are in the same room and you are watching the scene develop right in front of you. Maybe we can divide the categories into those 2 types next year. And as Sono-san said, the VR Film Festival, we were thinking that maybe we would have a lot of animations, but actually we had live action films as well. And I think this is going to become a new category. And I'm just a layperson when it comes to movies, but the headgear and the film, because we are not really used to watching VR, or maybe the machines are not developed well enough, but maybe we can just wear these simple glasses to watch these films. Maybe then this will become one established genre of films. And so we decided that we will give home and replacements both the grand prize because we couldn't select from the two. Sono-san has actually proposed that, and we were really relieved because we didn't have to really discuss how to pick either of the two. If it's VR and if it's a short film, it's very difficult to come to a conclusion because this is an experience, and it has to also provide that effect that lingers on after you watch the film. So with home, the relatives, after they go home, you have this feeling of being left behind, but I felt as if I was with that person. And the lady that was pushing the wheelchair, you look around and then you can see her. And it was really detailed. And replacement, it was like a storybook, but it's not as if you jump from the past to now. The camera is situated right inside the scene. Usually you have this flat screen and it's not going to be very interesting, but with VR, it was quite a different experience. So I was able to learn that from screening these films and also through the selection process. And there were many other interesting pieces. So I do hope that this continues. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. And once again, congratulations to all the winners. Okay, then now we'd like to have all the jurors as well as the ambassador, Com-I, to join in for a discussion. So I'd like to go back to the background and then I'll come back later. Thank you. Okay, Uka, thank you. So I'd like to call upon Com-I, who is the official ambassador for the film festival. Good evening. Yes, good evening to you. So now we have you, and we also have the three jurors. We'd like to talk about VR and what lies ahead. So first of all, I'd like to ask Com-I-san. I believe that you have seen all the films. So what was your impression, and what was your impression about the winners? So first of all, congratulations to all the winners. I believe that you have worked really hard, and maybe you worked in a team or maybe you worked alone, but I believe it was really hard work that you put into these films, and that's why you were able to gain these awards. I was actually skeptical about VR, but when I was asked to be the ambassador, it actually opened a new world for me. As I watched each film, it made me feel as if I wanted to know about VR much earlier, and it made me feel as if I wanted to talk to other people about the fun of watching VR films. And the winners, among them, were the ones that I liked most among all the nominees. It brought out the best in VR, which I thought was about being in the film as if you were living inside the film. There is no objectivity. I believe it's very difficult to be objective in the film because you are inside that story and you become part of the story. For example, with home, when the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren come and run towards you, you cannot move, but they come towards you, and it made me cry. And it made me feel as if this is the reward of living such a long life. And it's really great to be a grandma or a great-grandma. And also Randall's a piece about the concentration camp in Canada. You have this almost caged place which separates the inside world and the outside world, and I was able to feel that. So right now we have this very fragmented world, a world of division. But people of today and people of the past, I think that we need to empathize with the people of the past, and this could be a tool that helps us do that. And one other thing that I felt was that all the works were quite personal for the directors and creators.
The works that I usually watch, they really overwhelm you. But all the directors, I believe, created all those works because they were necessary for themselves as well. And the hope of the creators probably was for one person or for collective number of people, but anyway, it was something necessary for one's feeling and involved other people to create. And such works really resonate to other people. And actually, it's not something that's unique to VR, but common to all forms of arts. Well, thank you very much. I think I talked too much. No. Thank you very much. So why don't we have a talk, discussion with Komai. Now, in the comments, all the three of you said that. So you all watched the competition. And as a film director, what's the appeal of the VR? Well, probably the film directors will deny the VR. Many of the film directors will deny because they could destroy the traditional films. But I believe that VR will evolve, and then they would create and become a new genre, and bigger one as an expression than the film. And I think that's a very good way to go. So I believe that it's a completely different world from what we have been doing. And with that recognition, we can have a new start. Well, the film is 2D, and we're just watching at the square screen. And we cannot get out of that inconvenience. So beyond that limitation, physical limitation, I believe lies the appeal of VR. So this is something, VR is an expression that could be active in many places, for example, in education. And also the first step, featuring the space, and another one, the International Space Station one, yes. And also, it could be used as a training material for human resources. So in many stages, I believe that we can utilize this VR. So it's very good. I think it's the victory of VR. Do you want to take VR works? Well, after having said this, oh my God, I'm really scared now. Yes, I was thinking of taking a VR work, but it's such risky thing, I think. Yes, I am interested in VR. What do you mean by risky or dangerous? Because it's completely different from what you have been doing. Well, because now I understand that just taking the VR, like if you're taking a film, will be so boring. So they're completely different. Of course, the story, but it's completely different from the story that you have in the ordinary films. So, I mean, there are many traps we can fall into. Now, Omiya Eri-san, well, you are involved in many forms of arts, and how do you feel that from that viewpoint? Well, I'm involved in many businesses. For example, when I do the painting, it's a world without any words. And we are going to express that in energy. And when I write, there are no pictures. And that is something that the readers will have to imagine or read between the lines. But the films, it has the film, it has the image and words and sounds. So it's like a competition that has everything. It's got all the elements. So I believe that it's a lot of impact. And also you have some comics and there are so many areas. But VR, it's not something that the film has a space. It's not just that we have a surrounding. It's one new genre. It's like an impact that when we first read the comic or the impression that when we first read the book or something, or when we first saw the painting or something that makes us feel like we are listening to music and everything. So I thought that VR has a new genre as well. And it could be something like art life form, or, and just like Sono-san said, it could be in education material. And I had a chance to have an interview with the astronaut Noguchi-san, and I asked him questions on the space, and I could, well, understand what he was saying, but I couldn't really feel it as the thing of my own. But I think there were two works concerning the space, and we could see the Earth at our feet, and it was like we were experiencing ourselves being in the space ship. So we had a feeling that you're just thrown by yourself in the space. And it really made you feel that, well, I could understand for the first time what the astronaut was saying, that you are living in that space and you are part of the Earth. And that was really amazing. And I really wondered how the world would be when children would grow up with such feeling. Because the pictures in replacement, it felt like art forms, and now has a music. And you can stay there for a long time. So when the VR evolves, what would happen with novels or others? What would be the genre or distinctions? That's what I felt. So, Fukuda-san, you were in the Hollywood for a long time, but you said the Hollywood-like movies were not chosen. Well, film festivals, so when we do the judges, we look at the story and then look at the VR. But if there is no distinctions of the awards, the one that amazed me the most was the spaceship, because you are inside the spaceship and you want to go home, but you cannot. And I was wearing headgear, so I felt like I was being forced there. And then you were on the bed, and really made me go crazy, because it's such a wonderful or amazing experience. And because this is something that you cannot experience even with a 60-inch television. So if this is not a VR film festival, I had a lot of immersive feeling, and I like that. And also, speaking about the educational material, the Mona Lisa, those who saw this in Paris, know that. Some would go to Mona Lisa in Paris, and there is a guard. So the Mona Lisa painting is like 7 meters away, so you cannot see that. But the VR eyes, they get so close. So you can see all the backgrounds of the 24-year-old Mona Lisa model and all those things. So I believe these were what the only VRs can provide. And when you add the expression and storytelling, we came up with the 4 winners. And I believe that there was so much trial and errors, but we had so many applications from all around the world. So probably we can give the awards by theme. And also there is some craftsmanship in Japan, and we are seeing the lack of the successors. And if we take all the skills of the maestros with VR, then the next generation people would look at the VR, so that I believe that we can hand on all the craftsmanship. So I'm just excited with the VR potentiality itself. So that's my impression.
So, Kom-ai, you are a musician, and I believe you might have music videos in VR. But from the side of the one that expresses things, what is your feeling? Well, every time somebody replays a video, maybe it would be like going to a live event every time. If I use VR, maybe that could be one possibility. Just recently, we shot a live event in Yakushima. So it was a 3D scan, actually, rather than shooting. So we have the data, and we have this data about the space where it took place. But actually, it was compiled into a film, so it is just looking at it from a certain angle. But we still do have the data, so maybe we can recreate it into something that is VR. So if many people have that head mount, maybe we can provide such a live concert type of experience. And I was just hoping that maybe we can create something like that. So you do have these ideas that came up. Yes, it brought new ideas to me. And the live concert audiences. You have a lot of audiences, and I will be performing on stage. And I will be seen from many people, but I can only see one place or one person. But if it's a VR event, I can probably look into the eye of the viewer. So I can look back at people who are looking at me, and that's something I wanted to do. Well, that might make people's heartbeat stop for a moment. Yes, indeed. What was wonderful for me was, yes, I have worn those head mounts, but the moment I took them off, I was watching together with my staff, and I spoke with my staff after that, but it made me feel like I wanted to touch that stuff to really confirm whether I'm living in this real world or if I'm still in the VR world. So it was quite a real experience. Didn't you feel the same way? I believe we're about the same age, Omiya-san. Well, yes, I thought I'm an analog type of person, but it was really shocking. I was really immersed into that world. So I was inside a woman's womb, or I was falling in that white world. And then I take it off, and I see my staff around me, and I thought, hey, why are you here? And they were just watching me watch the VR world. And when I took off the head mount, it made me feel as if, oh, I was here in my office. It almost felt as if I was traveling into another world. So it was really kind of frightening. But I was hoping that I could enjoy some drinks as I travel through. Of course, it's very difficult because I'm wearing that head-mounted gear. Well, it felt a bit strange for about a minute, but then after that, I was really immersed into that world. What about you, Mr. Fukuda? Well, yes, 2 or 3 years ago, I went to Madame Tussauds in New York, and there was a VR game for Ghostbusters there, and 4 people can join in, and I actually walked around 3 rooms and busted ghosts. And the VR back then, you have a polygon of other participants, but this time you have to touch and throw a piece of wood, or you are just watching from the side. But if you can go into that world with other people, if you can think about that possibility, then it would become a true experience. So when we think in that way, I think the possibilities are really infinite. Now, going back to you, Mr. Sono, you said that this is scary or rather frightening. So if you can tell me once again, why is it that you feel kind of scared or frightened? Well, in my case, I was watching alone with no staff around me. They just brought in the equipment, so I wore it and I just watched. So the difference with ordinary films, well, a film, you have to watch the screen. So it means that you are an outsider. You can be in your pajamas or you can be naked right after taking a bath, because the people inside the film are not going to notice you at all. But I watched all the films, and then after that, I thought maybe the space one. I felt as if I wanted to see that after taking a bath with just a towel wrapped around my body, and maybe over a drink, because that would never happen in reality. So films on a screen, it's okay, but if it's VR, if you start watching VRs like that, I think it makes you feel rather embarrassed because it's a totally different world. And maybe in that way, that's another way you can enjoy films. Maybe one day we will be watching VR films while taking a bath. Maybe we can watch VR in different situations, and that's another way to enjoy them. I think you were nodding. Well, the head mount gears, I believe that they will be more advanced in the future, and I'm looking forward to better equipment. Because we need to adapt to the new world. Well, I'm not really good at using these digital devices. Maybe that's the reason, but the head mount is really heavy, and it's very difficult to watch for a very long time. Maybe it's not suited for feature-length films. And also, my makeup came off. I believe people who developed that didn't really think about these aspects. If you share a head mount with your friend, my makeup might be passed on to my friends, and also it's so heavy that I felt as if my face was drooping down. But yes, and I want to share it with a friend, as if I'm going to a movie theater, or just like watching a film together at home. But maybe one day in the near future that's going to happen. Probably if we watch the same thing at the same time, we might be able to share that experience. But the scariness, there was this scariness. Maybe it's about literacy. And of course, in VR, there is no ethical criteria. So everything anything can happen in VR. And that's why we have all these different, totally different pieces of work. I'll go ahead, please. And when the movies were first created, I believe many people were really shocked and probably were scared. So it's as if we are re-experiencing the invention of films. Yes, but as we get used to VR, maybe the balance between the real world and the virtual world will be maintained. Now, Fukuda-san, I believe you know about overseas, so if you compare the works made in Japan and overseas, what were the differences or similarities? Well, among the 20 films, they're really coming in from many different countries. It's not just in Asia, although this film festival is in Japan, but we only had one from the United States, and there were none coming in from Russia or Africa, but there were films from Europe and also Asia. And so, yes, I believe it's an Asia type of film. VR, it's like being in the scene. The Indonesia piece and also the Taiwan piece was like just being in the piece. And maybe the Asiatic taste was reflected in our selection.
It's very much like game. If you're the successful games in the United States, they're all battles. But in case of Japan, it's like growing the vegetables together. So I believe that many of the stories, winner stories, were very Asian-like. Now, Omiya-san, for example, do you like to do something new? Has it given you an inspiration? Well, I've been involved in theater as well. Now, I think you can do something like theater. The prize winner, the Book of Distance. There was a navigator there, right? And I think I was drawn in by that. And the event and the theater, I felt the possibility of doing something like theater. And also I felt like I'm in, theater. It's like a film, but also enables you to take part in that. So it's like a marriage or combination of the theater and films. And I do the live painting at events. And although you're not there, I think I can utilize the VR. And that enables you to see the process of my production. And the one with Mona Lisa, and we actually found out that her hairstyle was like this. And it was a new discovery. So things that used to be impossible has become possible. So even in my painting, there is a children's library in Amami Oshima Island. And I draw a big painting with 9 meters. And I believe that with VR, people can feel the way the plant is growing. And also in Munch, it was coming out of the painting. So although it's a painting, then things come out and you can experience the art or the painting. So I feel like, yes, I want to try out something. And I believe that this is going to be a project where we would have to work with other people. And we say that the Olympic Games are the event of the peace. But if this project becomes a peace event that combines the countries, I think it's going to be interesting. Sono-san, what would you like to do with VR? Well, I think that VR is going to evolve more and more. And what can I do, I wonder? Like replacements, or like home. So the use of limitless time. If, for example, if you're on Shinkansen bullet train, well, just reproduce that time from Tokyo to Osaka, I guess. And the book that you're reading will be, you can show that on the screen. Then we feel like we're reading that while we are on the Shinkansen bullet train. And once you have a technology that shows that, I think it's going to be interesting. And sometimes you fall asleep, and after you wake, you find yourself in whatever station. And also, like you can be a fetus, and you wake up, and once again, you're in the womb. So probably you can do a lot of things that you usually don't do. So I think it's going to be huge work with that lasts for 30 days. You just keep it on, right? But that thing, the one on your head, is so heavy and it hurts. So I hope that it becomes like a glass-like device or even a contact lenses. I think, yes, we can expect those devices. Is there anything that you expect to directors or people in the business? Well, the go home, scary one like a go home, I think is going to evolve. I don't like the scary things or horror things. And other than that, a very subtle VR story. I like to see them evolved. For example, being on the Shinkansen bullet train for 3 hours, and the child in the front seat turns and look at me, and something like that. So very subtle, very daily-like VR, not a really too impressive ones. That's the one that I like to see. Komo-ai-san, speaking about the possibility of working together, what is your expectation on the creators? Well, we say that VR as a one genre, but all the films, all the art genre, not just the arts, but even within the animation, there are so many different tastes and touches. And we are simply saying VR. So it's just that the technology that they're using is common, but there's so many works with different tastes, and I'm so surprised by that. So what are we missing right now? How about the war stories? But I don't want to get any trauma, something that is too overwhelming, but that's something that I would like to try. And I think there is such a possibility or potentiality for documentaries. I think I'm contradicting myself, but rather than being the person in that story, you have to have the objective viewpoint. The one with the International Space Station, I think it was a documentary. So you're like a invisible person and you're there. And such kind of a documentary, I think, has a huge potentiality. Fukuda-san, what is your expectations on the creators? I'm repeating myself, but VR is not the evolved type of a film. That's what I've learned. Rather, for education materials, or it allows you to be someone that you couldn't be. So I think you can create a new genre based on the experience. Omiya-san, you said that you will combine or you will work together. So what kind of people would you like to work together with? Well, I cannot do work on the space or animation. I can write or I can paint. And if they are in the VR world, I'd like to see what would they be. And that's what I want to work with, other people. And home. It really made you feel like you are a grandmother. And it was such a big impact, an overwhelming experience. So books or paintings, I think they give you a more simple and very clear impression. And then probably they don't require much imagination, and that risk, it might lead to reduced capability of imagination because it gives you everything, right? All the images and sounds and everything. Yes, but if everyone can immerse in that environment, the ethical thing or educational thing or emotional things and all those things, right now, there's just too much information, and I believe that we are losing things that are important as human beings, but that can be supplemented with a VR, such emotional thing, to be sympathetic or love affection towards others. I think VR can provide those things.
So maybe for VR to become more mainstream, what is it that's necessary? I see Uka-sama is with us as a VTuber. What do you think you can do to mainstream VR? I'm sorry, I had my microphone muted. To mainstream VR, just like Komai, I felt that it was quite a burden to wear the headgear, so I hope that they can be turned into something like glasses. But I think we really need to seek out what we can do that's different from ordinary films. VR can really do things that was banned in filming, in a sense. For example, in the Book of Distance, you can move things about which actually affects the story, which was impossible in films. You can't change the film that you are watching. But with VR, using the game engine, you can affect how the story goes. So the script or the code or the program could be incorporated into the film, and I think that that's the real big difference, or something that was impossible with films. And Kam-ai said that it's a personal experience, and it's difficult to share with others. But that personal experience would bring about different stories depending on the viewer. For example, you may be watching the same movie, but between a man and a woman, maybe what you are seeing is quite different. So everything would become personal for you, which is quite different from watching an ordinary movie. And the stories that you tell with VR will be different from ordinary films. It's not as if a film is turned into a 360-degree thing, but maybe we need something this is something that can only be done in VR. A personal experience. With the Book of Distance, actually I understood that I was taller than everybody around me because I am 190 centimeters tall. I was able to look at the top of the train which is something that doesn't happen in the film. What I'm seeing was probably quite different from other people's views. So already things are being personalized. Well, maybe if Sascha is maybe you can change the story so that you can actually experience somebody with different height. In planetarium, there is a viewing of a VR film at the top of Sky Tree, and so people come together to watch that story, but maybe different stories could develop depending on the viewer. So yes, Uka-sama, thank you very much for that. But now our time is running out, so I'd like to go around the juries and also to I would like to raise the final question. So this was the first Beyond the Frame Festival, but we talked about this just a little bit, but what is it that you expect from this film festival, I? Well, this time you had a lot of talk sessions, which were really great. And I'm hoping that you would do that again next year, because through these discussions, I think it would bring richness into pieces created here in Japan. It's really great that we have this here in Japan, because VR film festivals can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter in which country it is being hosted. But it just happens to be that we have this here in Tokyo. And the VR creators could be stimulated because of this event. And I also started thinking about what would make VR more interesting. I was really happy that I was able to take part in this discussion. Thank you. Thank you. So Fukuda-san, what do you expect from this film festival? Well, thank you very much for inviting me this time. So I was just going through the list of the pieces once again. So a first-time creator can actually win this award. In a film, that doesn't happen. You have to understand how to shoot and then edit, and you have to learn the basics first. But for VR, I think you can really express everything that you want to express, because it's all about experiencing. So maybe a newcomer can win the next day. So I'm just hoping that next year, many first-time creators of VR films would take part in the festival. Thank you very much. Omiya-san? It seems as if time is really advancing and technology is advancing. And because of that, these personal contacts between people are being reduced, because you ride the train and everybody's just looking down on their smartphones and not talking to each other. But through VR, and really thank you very much for all the wonderful pieces. But the VR movies or films will maybe bring back the warmth that we have lost because of technology, because all the films that I watched were really warm stories, like the connection between the mother and the child, and about how precious our earth is. So things that we have lost over time might be supplemented by these VR works. So I'm hoping that this film festival becomes a major film festival and develops even further. Thank you. Lastly, Sono-san. Well, the Grand Prize winner this year, Home, about this grandma on a wheelchair, which was really a setting that's good for VR. I have actually watched wheelchair stories in VR, because the camera, when you move the camera, it's really convenient. So there are these convenient points about VR, And there may be many others that we will identify as we go along. But we need to really break down everything, disrupt everything, and maybe find new things so that the impossible becomes possible. And I'm just hoping that spreads even further. I'm not really sure what those things would be, but I think that's all I can say now. And Omiya-san, you said that it was warm and that it brings back these feelings from the past, but I'm not saying that this is dangerous, but as VR evolves, there are good things, but of course there are bad things, and that may be that you can create your own girlfriend in VR, and she looks the way you want her to look like, and she talks the way you want her to talk. And if you create such a person, you may not want to go back into the real world. So that might happen. And yes, I believe it will happen. If you want to go to Hawaii, you can create a Hawaii environment around you without going to the real Hawaii. So it means that maybe people will start looking inwards too much. So rather than these closed VR, how do we make an open VR world? I think that is a challenge that we might have to take up along the way. But still, you will cheer on for us so that we can hold this film festival? Yes, of course. We need to make sure that this becomes a good film festival. And yes, I do want to have an ideal girlfriend in VR.
I'd like to watch that. And I hope that all of you will continue to support this festival. Well, thank you very much. Now it's time. So we'd like to take a photo with all of you here. So just stay there. And we are once again joined by the winners of the prizes. So please have your camera on.
Take a screenshot. はい。それでは、皆さん。
So everyone, look at the camera. And we're going to take a photo. Oh, so lovely. So
if you have a pose, maybe it's like a VR pose or whatever you want. 何かポーズでもいいですし、ぜひ。
Anything? So here we go. We are taking.
Hold on a little bit. はい。大丈夫ですかね。さあどうですか。何枚か。
How is it? I think they're taking.
どうでしょう。大丈夫ですか。もう
So
ちょっと。
how's it? A little more, not yet. Okay. 20.
So we can have a couple of photos. かわいいですね。Thank you also for joining your kids.
あれ映画に出演していた子供だね。多分。
I think the kids appeared in the VR, the home.
Mr. Tu, is that the kids that you were also putting in on your movies?
Yes.
Yes?
When we're shooting the home, he's almost 1 year. So he's right now is 3 years old.
Ah,
and
I
I
see.
got another one, 6 months. Hi, everyone.
あの時は1年前だったんで3歳になっちゃいましたけど、もう一人増えて6ヶ月だそうですね。映画に、園監督言った通り映画に出てきた子供だそうです。
Yes, they all appeared. The eldest one appeared in the film. Thank you very much. So with this, we end the first Beyond the Frame Festival award ceremony. Todoki-san, how was it as an official navigator? Well, to all the winners of the prizes and all the jurors, thank you very much. Well, we're going to continue into the second year and third year, and I think we're going to see some rules, for example. And I think we're going to know more and more. And I hope that we're going to open a new path And I'm very much looking forward to that. Thank you very much, you all. Oh, yes, Beyond the Frame. When I first heard that, I just thought about the screen. And I thought that you're going to break away the frame of the screen, but I thought that it's about doing away with all the ideas frame, and I thought that was a very good title. And I really feel the immense potentiality, and I hope this festival will grow onward. So thank you very much for all the juries, and to all the winners, once again, congratulations. So see you in the second Beyond the Frame Festival. Bye-bye. Thank you.